Hi, everyone. My name is Katie Farner, and I am a superstar director from Central Florida. And I am super excited to be talking with you guys tonight about one of my favorite topics, sponsoring. So Tasha asked me to come in here tonight and do a little training for you guys on the subject of sponsoring. But before I get started, I always just like to wait, a minute or two, see who gets on, just see if we get anybody on here live. So how was everyone's day? Sorry, text messages. I hate when text messages come in on my computer. It's so distracting. Anyone else understand the whole squirrel moments? Oh my gosh, I'm so bad about that. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. It's horrible. And you guys have such a cute team name, seriously. Hi, Tasha. How are you doing? I didn't think you were going to be able to make it live. Just getting on my Facebook, making sure that it is, in fact, streaming.
Have such a cute team name.
Yes, it is streaming live in the right place. Hi, Lisa. Tasha, have you ever used BeLive.tv before? I'm obsessed. Like, once you do this, it's, and you can have your phone free. If your phone's dying, you don't have to stress about it. I love BeLive.tv. And like, what's super neat too is like, I can show what people say on the screen. Isn't that cool? I love BeLive.tv, and it's free, which is super cool. And you can have like little titles and stuff up there. Super neat. So tell me, how was everybody's day? I would love to know. We had some storms, so I didn't make it. Oh, wow, tornadoes everywhere. Oh my gosh, that's horrible, Tasha. That's awful. I would love to know maybe how long you've been with Scentsy, where you live, what your title is, what level of the incentive trip you're working towards, or a summer incentive, anything you want. Tell me about anything. I'd love to know more about the people who are on here live right now. Oh yeah, BeLive.tv is so great. I love it. Cannot believe you're talking about tornadoes everywhere. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Hurricanes obviously are what we deal with in Florida, but I guess you kind of just get used to what you live with. Like for us, hurricanes, yes, sometimes there are hurricanes that are a big deal, but for the most part, it's just a lot of wind and rain, and it's stuff that we can just kind of deal with. But tornadoes, like, oh my gosh, that terrifies me. I would like lose my mind being in a tornado. Lose my mind. Ah, scary. Tasha, you've been a director for 3 years. That's awesome. How long have you been with Scentsy? Pulling up my notes too. All right. So, hello to everybody who's on here live. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Punta Cana going at almost level 2 on the summer incentive. Yay, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. It's 8:05. That's usually about how long I wait. So hello to everyone who's on here live. Thank you for joining me live. Hello to everyone who's watching the playback. Thanks for taking the time to invest in your business and watch the playback. It is never a waste of time to gain more knowledge about your business. And tonight we're going to talk about something that is really going to make the biggest positive impact in your business and your life, which is sponsoring. So before I get into that, I'm just going to share my story. I think you'll notice when you go to Reunion and other things that people are often sharing their stories. And it's not because people just want to sit there and try to brag on themselves. That's not what it is about at all. People share their stories because it connects us to one another. And it just really makes people more relatable. And it allows you to kind of see yourself in that person's shoes when maybe you might not have otherwise. So I'm going to try to tell you my story as short as possible because I have a lot of notes here to share with you. Basically, I joined Scentsy in May of 2010. So I just celebrated 7 years on May 12th. And I joined Scentsy probably like many of you, just because I wanted a discount and wanted to be able to easily access the product for myself. The lady that I had been buying from was no longer selling Scentsy, and I was like, one of those Home Alone moments. What am I going to do? She was no longer going to be selling Scentsy. She was getting divorced. She was moving away. It was a whole life change for her. I forgot to change my agenda. Hold on now. Wait a minute. Boom. My story. That's right. So anyway, she's like, well, you can just join and buy from yourself. I thought, all right, I'll give that a try. I didn't earn Shooting Star. Well, let me backtrack. I joined under someone random. Obviously, they didn't recruit me. I sought someone out, and I actually ended up joining under my husband's cousin, Caitlin, who no longer sells. She canceled. I'm sure she regrets that all the time. She canceled and I rolled up, and then they canceled and I rolled up. I've actually been a 3-time roll up, meaning I've had a lot of people cancel and I just kind of did it all on my own. But anyway, I joined her randomly. I sought her out. She didn't, coach me or anything, which it's fine. It's our journey. We're independent consultants. I didn't earn Shooting Star. I barely earned Sensational Start Level 1, and it just because of the timing. Like, I wasn't trying for it. I had my launch party right around my 70th day, and it just so happened I closed it in time, and my one party was enough to earn me Sensational Start Level 1. So I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And my business at that point really started growing organically because I was just super passionate about the product. And your passion you all the way, which we're going to learn tonight, but your passion can take you pretty far, and your passion will really attract people to you. And that's what was happening. And so I was booking parties and things were just kind of organically growing. Then I had someone come to me saying, hey, I want to join your team. I want to sell Scentsy. And I was like, pump the brakes. I don't want to build a team. No way. This is so bad, but I literally tried talking that person out of joining my team. And I did that for the first 3 people that joined my team, because all 3 of them came to me over the course of my first year in my business. And I tried talking all of them out of joining my team. I'm like, no, you don't want to join my team. I don't know what I'm doing. This isn't a business for me. When I look at really what the deep down root of the situation was, I had been in a management position at a clothing boutique, and I was actually fired from that job. And it was a really rough termination. I was basically just really told, hey, you're not meeting our expectations of our store manager. They went into a lot of detail of why I was not management material. And so that really damaged my self-esteem. And I did not feel like putting myself in a situation where I was potentially going to be disappointing people again. So I wanted to avoid that. And I didn't want to build a Scentsy team. Can anybody relate? Has anybody been rejected and dealt with that kind of thing, and they just don't want to build a team because they're like, I don't want people looking to me. I don't want to let people down. That's how I felt. And so they ended up joining anyway. And I went to my first reunion. So I joined in May of 2012. I went to my first reunion in August, because we used to hold it in August and we used to call it convention. I went to my first convention in August of 2011. It was in Fort Worth, Texas, and it was called Stampede. And that changed my whole world. It opened my mind to the possibilities with Scentsy. Side note, time out here. I really hope you're coming to reunion. If you're not coming to reunion, I know a lot of you are going to say, I can't afford it, but I'm going to tell you the cold, hard truth is that you can't afford not to go. You can't afford not to go. If you need this business because you need income, you can't afford not to go. The money that I have spent to go to reunion has been paid back, tenfold. It's like, had I not gone to reunion, I know that I wouldn't be where I am today, and I probably wouldn't even be with Scentsy anymore, to be totally honest with you. So reunion opened my eyes to the possibilities of this business. It taught me tangible tools to come home and start implementing. It showed me the wide variety of consultants that were finding success, men and women, all different times, of joining. Because I kind of had this mentality that, oh, you got to be in the ground floor to make money. You got to be in the ground floor to be successful. I just really never saw this as a legitimate way to create income for yourself. And when I went to Reunion, I was like, Reunion debunked all of that and taught me that, wow, no, you really can make money with this. And all different kinds of people are successful at it. So I went home. I left Reunion. I left Reunion as a star consultant with a team of 3. Anybody watching this maybe a star consultant with a team of 3? I left Reunion in August of 2011 as a star consultant with a team of 3. Started implementing all of the things that I learned and my newfound passion for this business and my zest for this industry and everything. I recruited 7 in September and recruited more in October. And then in November, I promoted to director and had a team of 18 at that point. So 2 months after leaving Reunion, 2.5 months after leaving Reunion, I promoted to director. So since then, we've just been super focused on sharing this gift. And fortunately, I really dug deep into some of these things that I'm going to talk to you about today. And, now we have like 750, 780, somewhere around there in our group, and like 350, 360 in my team. So, gosh, the little girl that was young and scared and had bad experience and was terrified to build a team now has a group of almost 800. Like, it's unreal. It's unreal what's possible with this business if you're willing to be teachable and implement the things that you're learning. So I hope that my story fills you with confidence to know that you might look at someone, a superstar director, a star director, a director, whatever. You might look at somebody and from the outside think, wow, they look like they have it all together. And I bet they were just awesome from the get-go. And that's not always the case. I started off really slow, really insecure, and learned how to develop I developed leadership skills. I developed recruiting skills. It didn't just come naturally. Like, I wasn't just like, bam, I joined and I'm instantly awesome at this business. No. I learned from the people that I wanted to duplicate what they were doing. So I hope that you feel more confident about your opportunity with this business and more confident about your own abilities. So that is my story. So now I'm going to share with you some top sponsoring tips. Now, I want you to know that I'm not just like sitting here talking about sponsoring and like, yeah, I sponsor like 4 or 5 a year. No. I've earned every single, since that Reunion in August of 2011, I have earned every single incentive. There has not been one incentive that Scentsy has put out that I have not earned, whether it was a little summer incentive, whether it was a big top 100 trip. I earned the only 2 top 100 trips we've done, the top 100 trip to Greece, and then this new top 100 trip to South Africa. We're getting ready to leave in like 22 days. I've earned an annual mentor and annual sales awards every single year. I sponsor between 40 and 50 each year, and get at least 75% of them certified or higher. So I don't want you to think I'm like teaching this like without the, the proof to back it up. I'm never going to, and I say this to my team all the time, I'm never going to share anything with you that's not going to help you grow in your business. I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm not going to waste my time. So I want you to know that what I'm about to share with you is legit what I do on the regular, and I am never going to encourage you to do something that I wouldn't do myself. I don't want you to waste your time. Your time is valuable. Okay, so first thing I want you to understand about sponsoring is I don't want you to see someone and be like, wow, they sponsored 18 last month. They must have had 18 conversations last month. That's not how it works. Just because someone has a great sponsoring month doesn't mean that they had a ton of conversations and they all bloomed that month. Just because someone recruits none, because there's plenty of months that I sponsor 0. Just because there's a month that I sponsor 0, that doesn't mean that I didn't talk to anyone that month. The thing you have to understand about sponsoring is that sponsoring is a courting process. Sponsoring is not marriage overnight. You're not going to be like, I shared the business opportunity with you, and within like 30 to 60 days, you're going to say yes. That's not how it works. It's about relationships, developing know, like, and trust relationships with people, and understanding that this is a courting process. Gosh, I've had hostesses have, 4, 5, 6 parties with me before they, in fact, join my team. Like, it's not going to just be, bam, they join because you offer it. So understand that it can't just be something that you decide to pick up randomly throughout the year. Like, oh, it's incentive season. I'm going to start sponsoring now. Oh, it's the summer incentive. Oh, I'm going to start trying to sponsor now. It's not going to work for you that way. And for many of you that have been trying to sponsor, that's what you've been doing, and it's not working, right? You have to be in a consistent pattern all year long of planting seeds for the business opportunity. So I'm going to talk to you about the different ways that I do that. And one of the first things that I want to talk is setting goals for yourself. It's so important to set goals for yourself. And I don't just mean a goal of like, hey, I'm going to sponsor 2 people this month. That's not really a good sponsoring goal. And the reason why is because all you can control is your effort. All you can control is the fact that you've planted the seed. The people are going to determine whether or not they decide to take you up on that offer. So you can't control the outcome. All you can control is the offer. So what I would encourage you to do is to every single month determine a goal for your sponsoring efforts, like setting a goal for the amount of no's that you want to achieve that month. Hi, Laura. Like setting a goal for the number of no's you want to achieve that month. So for example, if you want to, like, let's say right now, you're like I was, you're a star consultant with a team of 3, you want to promote to director before the end of the year. Okay, well, I would say set a goal of at least 5 conversations every single month about the business opportunity. So you could set like a number of conversations goal, or you could set a no goal and say, hey, I'm not going to rest this month until I get 5 people to tell me no about joining my team. And you know, based on your schedule, based on your goals, what would be an attainable but also challenging goal. I don't want you to just set a goal. I want you to set an EBG. I talk to my team about this all the time. An EBG is an excuse-busting goal. So something that's going to challenge you and stretch you, but also is attainable for you. Only you are going to know what's truly going to be an EBG for you. But set your sights high, especially if you want to grow your team and you want to grow your income and you want to earn these trips and all of these awesome things that we can do as Sensi consultants. You've got to set your EBG high. Challenge yourself. So it's so important to set goals. The next thing I want to encourage you to do is know your why. Thanks, Tasha. That is actually one thing that I came up with on my own. Like, we pick things up from books we read and people we talk to and things like that. But the EBG is actually something that I came up with on my own. I'm proud of that one. But every single month, at the beginning of the month, I post an image that says #EBG. And I ask everybody to comment and say what their EBG is for the month. And then, halfway through the month, I'll post another post like checking in. And then at the end of the month, I'll say, how did you do with your EBG this month? But yeah, it's something fun that I started probably about 6 months ago. And it's a good way to look at it because everybody's going to need something different. Not everybody's excuse busting goal is going to be the same. And that's one of the things that's great about this business. Okay, so my next tip that I want to give you for sponsoring success is knowing your why. And I honestly probably should have said this first, but whatevs. Knowing your why is really important because you're going to get rejected. Like, I'm here to just tell you the truth, the black and white, cold hard facts. That's very much how I train. I'm not fluffy and whatever. You're going to get rejected. If you're asking, you're going to get rejected. So not only do you have to actually be prepared to get rejected, but you have to be almost excited to get rejected and change your mindset and start pursuing that rejection, because the more rejected you get, the more yeses you're going to get. You cannot have those yeses without those nos. If you're protecting yourself from getting rejected, you are damaging your potential for success. You're shooting yourself in the foot by thinking you're protecting yourself. So just stop it. Just stop the madness and just understand that rejection is a part of this business, and it's something that we all have to accept and just kind of develop tough skin about. So what I'm getting at is knowing your why is very important for that, because your why, sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Your why will actually help you even more so through those tough times. And I want to add on a side note, if rejection is something that's really tough for you, I mean, rejection is difficult for everyone, but if you're someone who like truly struggles with rejection and you find yourself so paralyzed by the fear of being rejected that you're not acting, and a simple training like this isn't really helping you get out of that comfort zone, I want you to read the book Go for No. Go for No is a phenomenal book. I'm going to type it out. Go for No is a phenomenal book. I forget the author. It's like actually 2 different authors. And it's really, really great for helping you break down and understand what I'm talking about. One of the things that has always stuck with me is he said, when you are doing anything in life, you think that you either fail or you succeed. And so your only option is to go right or left, fail or succeed. When the truth is, failure is actually a bunch of stepping stones along the way to success. It's not you fail or you succeed. You know, really, there's a difference between failing and being a failure. Being a failure is what happens when you quit and you give up. But failing are the things that happen along the way to your success. So anyway, what I'm getting at here is knowing your why is really important, because it helps make it easier to deal with rejection. So like if you're having a rough day and you're like, dude, I was rejected like 10 times. I asked 10 people to host a party with me and they all said no. That's when you look up in your mirror in your master bathroom and you see written in dry erase marker your goal. That's when you open your planner and right there on the inside page you see a post-it note with your goal. That's when you get in your car and in your rearview mirror you see a post-it note with your goal. Your why has to be something that surrounds you, because you're going to be rejected. You're going to have hard days. You're going to have days where you question if this is working for you or not. You have to know why you're here, because if you don't know why you're here and you don't know what you're working towards, then you're just lost. And my friend, I'm worried you're just going to give up if you don't. So if you don't have a why, it doesn't have to be something crazy, huge, amazing. It just has to be. It has to be important to you. It has to give you butterflies. It has to make you excited. For me, I want to be able to give my husband a choice. My husband is a Lake County deputy sheriff. He works, crazy hours. He works obviously a super dangerous job. He's had people, die right in front of him. Fortunately, he's never had to shoot anybody. That's way TMI, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he works a very dangerous job, and I want to be able to give him a choice. I want to be able to build a career that allows him to retire doing that when he wants, not when the state tells him he can. And he can do whatever he wants. That's my why. And it's written on my bulletin board. It's written in dry erase marker on my vanity mirror. Like, I surround myself with it because it drives me, even on the tough days. So anyway, so know your why. Set strong goals that motivate you personally. The next thing, and this is truly the most important, like, if I could say out of this whole training, there's one thing I want you to never forget and always, always implement, is that every month, your number one focus as a Scentsy consultant who wants to grow a business, book parties, get great commissions, build your team, Your number one focus, all those things will fall into place if your number one focus is meeting new contacts every single month. Right now, I'm not thinking about May. May's over. I have I have $3,200 in PRV. I have like 3,200 in PRV. And, you know, a lot of people would look at that and be like, how are you doing that in May? Because my number one focus is always meeting new contacts. And I'm constantly having a new pool of people to talk to about bookings, to talk to about joining my team. And if that's your number one priority, you're going to see sales like that every month. I don't know the last month I had less than $2,000 in PRV. It's probably been 3 years. I honestly cannot recall. And up until about 8 months ago, I didn't even do follow-ups, guys. Like, I'm super honest. Like, now I do follow-ups. I have 2 notebooks. This is one of them. I have 2 notebooks for my follow-up because all my order forms won't fit in one. So I had to divide them up into 2. So this is 1 month and 3 month follow-ups. But anyway, about 8 months ago, I started implementing follow-ups, and it's increased my sales even more. But I was still maintaining high sales even without doing follow-ups because I was focused on new contacts always. So like, I look at my calendar and I say, what is on my calendar that's going to ensure that I am meeting new people this month? I do things like 50-10. Jacqueline Roy teaches her team, and now I teach my team 50-10. Every month, 50 samples, 10 possibility packets. I do not rest until I have given out all 50 samples. All 50 samples have to be gone before the month is over. Otherwise, I don't rest. And 10 possibility packets. And I'm going to walk over here and show you guys. See, here's my little basket. I keep this by my garage door. So that way, before I leave the house, I always make sure to grab some of my samples from my little sample pail. It's right there by the garage door where I, go out. So 50 samples, 10 possibility packets every single month. That's one way that I make sure that I'm gaining new contacts every single month. Another thing that I do, I'm like, what vendor events are on my calendar? What vendor events are on my calendar? I need at least one vendor event every month. I will not rest until every month I have one vendor event, period. Even if it's something that I work together with another direct selling person to put together, or it's a vendor event in my community or whatever, I will not rest until I have a vendor event because I know vendor events get me new contacts, which means new team members, which means new hostesses. It's a healthy cycle of fresh blood moving into your network. So, social media is obviously a huge way to focus on gaining new contacts every month by doing things like referrals, which we're going to talk about here in a little while. So keep your focus on gaining new contacts every single month, period. That's got to be your number one priority. All right, so next, let's talk about the different ways that I typically sponsor. Now, my main avenues of sponsoring are events, vendor events, home parties. Yes, I do other forms of parties, but home parties are like my jam. And so I'm all about them. So I'm going to be specifically talking about home parties today. So events, home parties, and social media. Those are the 3 avenues in which I get most of my sales. Most of my new team members. All right, so let's talk about events first. I always have signage. I'll either be wearing one of my buttons, of course, a shirt. Like right now I'm wearing my Disney shirt. So I'm always branded. I'll usually have a button on that says, ask me about the business or now hiring or whatever. I always have my vertical join banner from the Scentsy Family Store. So I've got signage everywhere, always. And I always share the opportunity before just accepting a sale. It's very, very, very important that you ask people, are you looking for extra income? We're out here today telling people about, Scentsy and how they can make extra income with Scentsy. I offer join information to every single person. Now, if they buy something from me and they did, in fact, take a join brochure, I make sure to take a note on their order form. So that way I know when I'm doing my follow-ups to follow up with them about the join information that I provided them. And it's just really important to look for keywords like Did they maybe used to sell Scentsy, or they don't have a consultant anymore and they love Scentsy? Look for keywords to present that offer to them. Really, really important. And oftentimes, if someone's on the fence, my favorite thing to do is offer them a decider party and say, hey, I know you love Scentsy. I love Scentsy. Why don't we just do a little party, have your friends over, and then it can help you make your decision on if you feel like this is going to be, a good fit for you or not. Okay, so let's talk about parties. It doesn't matter if someone's hosted a party with me 10 times or 1 time. I will always offer them the flip. When I say the flip, I mean hostess flipping, meaning they decide they want to join my team. So they pay for their starter kit, they join, and I give them the party. So they get all of the hostess rewards like they would have anyway. And they also receive all the commission on the party. All those new contacts are theirs. Any bookings that we got are theirs. So I literally package it up all nice and hand it to them and gift them a party. Now, some people are like, I don't want to do that because I'm working towards my 2000 PRV, or I'm working towards this, or I'm working towards that. And I will tell you that generosity will never, how would I word this? It is always in your best interest to be generous. And generosity is absolutely at the heart of our core values, and it's at the heart of my business. And I will always be willing to give something away. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, I don't want that person to join because they're my best customer. Well, they can also become the backbone of your team. They could be your very first director. And guess what? If they join your team and then they decide, hey, this isn't working out, I don't want to do this, it's not like they're going to be like, oh, dude, I hate you now, and I'm never going to buy Scentsy from you again, and I hate Scentsy. No, they're going to still buy from you. They're going to still host from you. Like, nothing will have changed, but at least you gave them the chance to have more, to be more, to do more. It's absolutely a great gift, And I could talk about sponsoring for like 700 hours straight because there's so much that can be said about it. But it's like, it's so selfish of us to not give this opportunity, because Caitlin, the person that I found to sign up under, she had no idea the day I joined what this business would end up doing in my life and in the lives of the other people that I would bring into the business. We have 13 directors in my family of teams now. So like in the Sunshine State Superstars, we have 13 directors. One of them has paid off all of her debt except her mortgage. And she quit her full-time job and is home now with her 4 kids. Like, that wouldn't have happened. Like, it's all this cycle of this awesomeness that you never know what's possible. You never know how offering somebody this business opportunity is literally going to change their life. And I know it sounds so cheesy if you haven't experienced it, but it's true. It's absolutely true. So you've got to offer the flip to every single hostess. Be generous, offer it. It will come back to you tenfold. And it's just the right thing to do. It's just the right way to live. It's how Heidi Norville live. And I respect and admire them so much, and I know you guys all do too. So offer it to every single person and offer it early on. You can't just be like at the end, oh, hey, do you want to join my team? Like, I'll give you this party. No. You offer it at the beginning. So usually when I'm on my very first phone call or meeting up with her or whatever, talking to my hostess, I'll say, hey, here's how the hostess rewards work. $200 is when your hostess rewards begin, blah, 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 blah. And I say, I also want to let you know I offer host gifting. So to them, I call it host gifting because I don't want to call it hostess flipping to them. That sounds weird. They're like, what, are you going to flip me? No. So I call it host gifting to her. And I say, what that means is a lot of my hostesses see how much fun my job is and how easy it is. And so a lot of them decide that they want to join my team and do what I do. So I offer host gifting, which means if you also decide that you want to join my team, I will gift this party to you. So that means that you'll receive the hostess rewards, of course, still. You'll also receive the commission on the party. Any bookings that we get are going to be yours, and all of these will be your first first customers, your new customers. So I plant that seed early. Why? Because throughout the whole process, they have to see themselves in our shoes. our words are powerful and they draw light to things. And if we didn't say that, they might have never really put themselves in our shoes. They might have thought about it for a second, because if someone's hosting a party with you, they probably have thought about joining your team. That's just the truth. But they might not really put themselves in your shoes and see themselves doing your job had you not planted that seed early. So this way, throughout the whole process, while she's got the mini testers the week prior and, while she's watching me do my thing at the party and have fun and smile and enjoy myself, she's thinking, I could do that. That looks like a good side hustle, So they've got to see themselves in your shoes. I also think it's really important to, when you get to the party, well, good. I'm so glad, Tasha. That's awesome. I think it's really important when you get to the party to readdress it. So when you get there and you're setting up, I always try to get there a good 30 to 45 minutes early because you don't want to be rushed, chaotic, stressful, and you want to be able to bring all your stuff in one trip so it doesn't look overwhelming. Again, they want to see themselves in your shoes. And if your job looks like it sucks, they're not going to want to do it. So I get there early, so I have plenty of time to set up, and then I can be like, hey, do you need any help? You want me to chop those veggies for you or whatever? I like to be able to offer my help. So as I'm helping her and we're chit-chatting, I'm like, so did you think more about, what I was telling you about the host gifting? And sometimes they'll be like, what's that now? And they'll not even remember at all what I said. And that's fine. Sometimes they'll be like, yeah, I have been thinking about it. I do need a side hustle or whatever. And then I just kind of let the conversation lead from there. If I know that they are even a little bit interested, I make sure to bring it up during the presentation. When I'm thanking my hostess and I'm talking about her little booking beads, I'll say, and your hostess, Susie Q, she's thinking about joining my team and doing what I do. So you guys would have easy access to Scentsy because Susie Q would be your Scentsy consultant. So those little beads each represent a party. And you could help Susie Q get her new business up and running. So grab one of those sets of beads. Help her get her new business up off the ground. So it's really important to plant the seeds so her friends are like, oh, she's thinking about it. You want them to encourage. It's like when we go shopping, we're like, do these jeans make my butt look fat? It's the same thing with Scentsy. They want to be like, would this Scentsy business look good on me? You know what I mean? They want to try it out. They want to see themselves in it. As Lisa Hendrickson says, when you're walking by a store window and you see a beautiful dress on the mannequin, there's a lot that goes between seeing the dress on the mannequin and putting your card down to pay for it. There's walking in the store, looking at the price of the dress, feeling the quality of the dress, seeing if they have your size, seeing if they have it in the color you want, going to the fitting room, trying it on, looking at yourself in the mirror. Do I like it? Does this make my butt look big? Whatever. Is the price right? Am I going to wear it enough to justify the price? Then you walk to the register, you put your card down and you pay, right? There's a whole process involved. And it's the same thing with sponsoring someone. We can't just plant the seed at the very end and be like, oh, she's going to say yes. No, we got to let them try it on, right? And that's where a home party really helps with that. So at the end of the party, after all is said and done, I sit down with her and I'm not rushing out the door because I want to go home and watch The Bachelor. No, I take my time and I sit down and I'm like, Susie Q, your party was so much fun. Your friends love Scentsy and blah, blah, blah. And, your party earned you blank and blank. And, my commission on your party is going to be blank. That's what I'm earning tonight, just for hanging out here and having fun with your friends. That's blank per hour. Isn't that amazing? I'll literally break it down to what I'm making per hour to show them how awesome my job is. Now, this is another way that they can put themselves in my shoes and they can say, wow, I could just go over to somebody's house and do this stuff and make like $30 an hour or whatever it is that I just told her that I made. It's helping her to see herself in your shoes. I also like to play purposeful games at my parties. So I will play games like the Most Likely to Succeed Award, which, gosh, I learned about years ago from a DVD. Laura, if you're still on, you might remember it. It was called Scentsy Day DVD. I still have it. the purple box. But in that video is where they talked about the most likely to succeed award. And I have been using it ever since because it's thebomb.com. So basically you just bring drawing slips and you're like, okay, everybody fill out the front of the drawing slip. And then on the back of the drawing slip, I want you to write the person at the party that you think would be the most likely to succeed as a Scentsy consultant. Oftentimes they end up voting for their hostess, which is so cool because it just gives her more of the feel goods that she needs to say yes. But I'll also say, hey, if you think that's you, like if you think you're the most likely to succeed, go ahead and write your own name down. That's fine. And so I tally up the votes, and whoever gets the most votes just gets a possibility packet, so just a little packet with joint information. And then I'll also slip like a scent circle or a dryer disc or a car bar, something small inside the pocket. So they get a little extra something. But whoever wins, I'm sure to follow up with them if they don't, join that night. So that's just one example of a purposeful game that I like to play. There's so many more that I could talk about, but I just kind of wanted to talk about that one because I want to talk to you about social media, and that can be like super long, I could talk about social media sponsoring for like literally 10 hours. So I'm going to try to go through this quickly. So social media sponsoring, you really need to find your platform and kill it. I think one of the most devastating things you can do to your social media game is try to be like all in everything, which is also the most devastating thing you can do to your business is try to be all in everything and sell 31 and Avon and Pampered Chef and Mary Kay and blah, 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 and Scentsy. No. You need to be all in with one thing. Like, I hope it's Scentsy. I hope Scentsy is the thing that you're all in with and you're passionate with. But like, if it's not, then you need to be doing what you're 100% all in, passionate about. Passionate is important. I told you that's what drove my business at the start. You've got to be dedicated to one. I'll never forget on Parks and Recreation. I don't know if any of you ever watched Parks and Recreation, the show that was on NBC. But there was one episode where Ron Swanson actually said to Leslie Knope, he said, never half-ass two things, whole ass one thing. And I was like, yes, Ron Swanson speaks the truth. Never half-ass multiple things, whole ass one thing. So you got to be all in. You got to be all in. That's the only way you're going to find success with your business and success in your sponsoring and all of that great stuff. And it's the same thing with social media. You got to find one platform, work on that, perfect that before you start trying to add all kinds of stuff. Like for me, I focus on Facebook and YouTube. Those are my two platforms. I'm on Instagram. Yep. I'm on Pinterest. Yeah. I'm on, what else am I on? I don't know, whatever. I'm on other things, but I focus on Facebook and YouTube. So I want you to find your platform and really perfect your skills at that platform. So I'm mainly going to talk about Facebook because that's like my jam. That's my thing. Make sure that you have created a professional social media presence. And remember that Scentsy is not your brand. You are your brand. I am Katie Farner, Scentsy Superstar Director. I am not, like my brand is not Scentsy. My brand is me. My brand is who I am. My brand is what makes people, my customers, my potential recruits drawn to me. And that's what your brand is. So think about what your brand is. What are you portraying? What do you want people to experience? What do you want people to feel? What do you want people to think after interacting with you? That is your brand. So it's very, very important that you think about that and that you're 100% professional. Which means being professional and positive all the time. Like, yeah, do you have bad days? Yep. Do you go on social media to vent about it? No. Yeah, do you have political beliefs? Yeah. Do you go on social media to talk about them? Nope. One of my closest friends in Scentsy literally lost a customer, a good customer, because she expressed her political beliefs and that person private messaged her and was like, you voted for so-and-so? No, I'm not shopping with you anymore. Like that literally happened to a friend of mine. So it's just one example that I can give you of how important it is to remain neutral and positive, and you have plenty of outlets to express your feelings. But if you are building a business on social media, that's not the place. It's just not. All right, so here's some quick, fast social media tips. Now I want you to understand, as I'm talking about social media tips, you're gonna be like, none of this is really like recruiting. It's because it's not. It's relationship building. It's networking. That's what leads to the recruiting through social media. So first and foremost, every single customer needs to be a Facebook friend, because that's how you're going to change a customer from just being a customer and turning them into a fan. I don't know about you, but I don't want customers. I want fans. I want people who are like, oh, you use Scentsy? Do you shop with Katie Farner? You don't? Oh, you need to shop with my girl Katie because she's awesome. She earns all these trips and she's so good. You know, she gives me little samples and oh my, you know, Katie's awesome. That's a fan. A customer is somebody who's like, who's Katie Farner? Oh, that's the girl whose party, that party that I went to like 6 months ago. Oh, I never even heard from her again. I don't even remember her name. Oh, her bars, her pictures on my clamshell with her contact information. Oh, I threw that away. I don't even. That's a customer. Do you want customers or do you want fans? Fans are someone who's like, oh my gosh, you earned the monthly sales award. Congratulations. And they comment and they like, and oh, you're going to South Africa on the top 100 trip. Comment, like, that's a fan. And they're not going to really be a fan unless they're following your journey. And that's what your social media page is for. They have to follow your journey. Your personal Facebook page is to share your journey. It's not to be like, hey, ask me about my personal special. Hey, I'm $50 away from a promotion. Please order from me. That's not what your personal page is about. Your personal page is about reflecting your brand, your journey, positive business stuff. That's your journey. Your VIP page is for your specials. And hey, look, it's the scent of the month and blah, 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 blah. Hey, let's do a basket party. That's what your VIP page is for. And you add all your best customers to your VIP page. Like I have a postcard that says something like, you know, do you love Scentsy? Do you want all the Scentsy perks? Then join my VIP page. Send me a text message that says, I want VIP status, and I have my cell phone on there. So I put that in every single order that I bag, every single PWS order that's placed with me, they get that in the mail. My assistant handles all my PWS order mailers. She's heaven sent. I love her. But yeah, so they'll text me. Like I legit will get text message that says, I want VIP status. Because they get my postcard and they're like, hey, I want all these cool perks. Yeah, I want VIP status. And so I only add people to my VIP page when they tell me they want to be added. The worst thing you can do is add people without them wanting to be added. Don't do it. And then just make it a fun space. And then you have your business page, which is where you also post, you know, very similar stuff. It's just basically something that's searchable for Google. So that's very important that you have a business page, and it's just your professional space, you know, and on your personal page where you have linked, don't link your work history on your personal page. Don't link it to Scentsy's corporate site, Scentsy's corporate Facebook page. Link it to your business page. Like when you go to my Facebook page, you'll see that my work history is linked to Katie Farner, Independent Scentsy Superstar Director, not Scentsy's corporate page. Link it to your business page. But anyway, so 3 different pages, 3 different purposes. Be a good Facebook friend is really important. Comment on posts, interact with people. And a lot of this stuff you might be like, dude, I don't want to spend all day on Facebook. Neither do I. So set a timer. Set a timer for yourself, and then it's going to keep you much more intentional with your time. But comment on posts, don't just like. Be a good Facebook friend. That's going to help you with your networking. You need to listen and look for signs. I always say put your opportunity goggles on every day. You need to listen and look for signs to share the business opportunity with people. How many times are you scrolling through your Facebook newsfeed and you see somebody say, case of the Mondays, or, oh my gosh, you know, complaining about their kid being in public school, or complaining about such and such breaking at their house and not being able to afford to fix it or whatever. If you are actually looking, if you have your opportunity goggles on, oh my gosh, your world is going to go boom, and you're going to see like tons of opportunity to share the business opportunity. I'm serious. Now, let's say that you're scrolling through your newsfeed and you see somebody be like, dude, I hate my job. I don't want to go to work tomorrow. Send them a private message and say, hey, Valerie, I saw your post about, you know, hating to go to work tomorrow. Sorry, girl. What do you do? Create a conversation. Don't just send her a message and be like, hey, Valerie, I saw your post about not wanting to go to work tomorrow. You should start a Scentsy business. Okay, yeah, let me tell you all about it. No, you're going to be like the crazy Scentsy lady, and she's going to be like, ignore, unfriend, block. No, you got to smooth, build a relationship, show an interest. Very, very important that you do that. And she's like, oh, I am an admin assistant at blah, blah, blah. And you're like, oh yeah, I totally get it. I used to hate my job. And, I would just be real. And I would just say, like, I totally get it. I used to hate my job too. And I was an admin assistant as well. That's why I started Scentsy, is I wanted to grow a business while working. And it's kind of like going back to school. But I didn't have to go into debt to go to school while I was working. So I started building a business while I was working and built it to the point where I could quit my full-time job and then just do Scentsy full-time. And now I love my job, So if you would ever want me to send you info about how you could do the same thing, I'd be happy to send you some stuff in the mail. Just like that. Just like that. So it's the same thing. Like, say somebody's saying, oh my gosh, my washing machine broke. What am I going to do? I got to go to the laundromat, blah, blah, blah. Like, I would be like, oh my gosh, send her a message. I'm so sorry to hear that your washing machine broke. That's horrible. Gosh, when we, conversation, wait for her to respond. And then I'd relate and I'd say, when we moved into our new house, it's new to us. It was built in 1997 and the AC unit was original. So I would say, oh my gosh, literally 2 months after we moved into our new home, our AC unit went out and we had to drop $4,000 on a new AC system 2 months after buying this new house. If it wasn't for Scentsy, I would have had to finance that whole thing. But instead, I was able to just take it out of my month's commission and pay for that right out of pocket, And so I would relate to her and show her how I was able to have a cushion because of Scentsy. And I would say to her, if you ever want more information about, how you can kind of create a cushion for, incidentals like this, I'd be happy to send you more information. So you need to wear your goggles every day, look for opportunities to offer the business opportunity to someone in need, and then privately message them and pitch it to them. But start with a relationship first. That's one of the biggest ways that I get people on the hook about the business opportunity. Always remain positive and neutral, like I said earlier. Add customers as friends, right? I love to go live on Facebook. Thanks, Tasha. I love to go live on Facebook. Do I like the way I sound? Nope. Do I like the way I look? Nope. Like right now, I'm like, whoa, I need to get my Botox done again. My forehead is so wrinkly and oh my gosh, my hair looks all thin and scraggly. So I don't want you to think, oh, Katie, Katie doesn't mind going on live because I think Katie looks pretty. No, I don't think I look pretty. I think I look wretched right now. And I don't like the way my voice sounds. And I don't like the way I look on camera. So most people don't like the way they look on camera. You just have to get over it because it's worth it in the end. It's worth it to just be like, whatever, I'm just going to do it. Even though I think I look wretched, it's worth it. It's worth the outcome, the positive outcome that comes as a result of putting yourself out there. So I love to go live on Facebook and talk about the business. Thanks, Tasha. I love to go live and talk about the business opportunity on Facebook. So I will make an image like on WordSwag or Rana Designs or Canva and make an image and I'll say, been thinking about joining Scentsy. Join me on blank date at blank time. I'm going to go live on Facebook and I'm going to answer any questions you've got in a super casual setting. So I literally will go live at that date and time and just answer people's questions. Like they can just hop on and be like, well, I'm not a salesperson. What would you say to me? How would I work the business or whatever? So it's a really casual way for people to get their questions out. Thank you, Michelle. You're so sweet. A really casual way for people to get their questions out there. So I love doing that. And I've had plenty of times where I do this because I do it about once a month. I have plenty of times where I do this and nobody gets on or nobody asks questions and it's like cricket, 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 cricket. So in that instance, I know what the common questions are. So I'll just be like, well, a common question is such and such. So here's what I would say to that, just wing it. You know what the common objections are. Personalized sharing is really important. It's so critical that you show how Scentsy is positively affecting your life. Like, for example, one of my amazing directors, her name is Danielle. You might have seen her on Facebook. Danielle Elizabeth is her name. And if you're not following, don't send her a friend request because, Facebook is so lame. We can only have so many friends. So like her Facebook is like mine. It's set up to where people can follow us, and all of my posts are public. So you're never going to miss anything if you just follow me. So follow Danny if you're not already following her, Danielle Elizabeth. She is so incredible about sharing authentically how Scentsy is enhancing her life. So good. She'll post a picture when she's at the park with her kids playing in the middle of the workday and, say something about, how Scentsy allows her to do this kind of thing. And so does everybody have kids? No, I don't have kids. I have 3 fur babies, so I can't share authentically that way. But I find ways that are authentic to me to share. Like, I love beauty stuff and cosmetic stuff, and I love decorating our new home. We've been in here almost a year. It'll be a year in June. So like when I am buying new things to decorate my house, like I'll go live and I'll show and I'll talk about where I'm going to put it or whatever. So like that's a way that I can show how Scentsy is enhancing my life. It's allowing me to have this new home and decorate this new home and things like that. So you have to think about, in what ways is Scentsy enhancing my life, and how am I authentically showing that through social media? Always remember to do 80-20, 80% personal, 20% business on your personal page. Share heartfelt examples of why you love your job. Like just the other day, I was sitting on my back porch. I love sitting on my back porch working. My dogs are in the backyard. We've got about 2 acres here. And so my dogs are in the backyard running around, playing, whatever. I'm sitting on the back porch. I'm drinking my cucumber water, and I'm sitting there working on my computer. And I'm just like, dude, this is my real life. Like, this is so wonderful. I'm so happy. And I took a picture and posted it on Facebook and, said no case of the Mondays here. Like, that's one way that I can show authentically how Scentsy is enhancing my life. And remember, anytime you talk about anything that's related to income, don't forget to attach the income disclosure statement. I already said avoid controversial topics. Don't sell multiple things. I already said that. Don't promote other companies. You can go to my Facebook page and you can scroll back years and years and years and years, and you will never see, ever, that I've hosted a party for any other direct selling company, and you will never see me advertising for another direct selling company. I just don't do it, period. I don't want to create confusion in the marketplace. I don't want anybody to think that I am disloyal to Scentsy. I am 100% all in Scentsy. And you have no idea. Somebody's scrolling through their newsfeed real quick and they see Katie Cardoza-Farner, and then they see something about LuLaRoe and they're like, oh, Katie sells LuLaRoe? That's what they think, right? No, not going to let any of that confusion happen. I am all Scentsy, all in, professional. It's like, would you want to know that your OBGYN wasn't actually an OBGYN, that she was actually a dentist and she just moonlighted as an OBGYN? No, you want your specialist to be a specialist in one thing. Scentsy's the same way. You need to be a professional of one thing. I could talk about that forever. Okay, so other things on social media, referrals. I'm going to carry you into my office. You're getting a tour of my house today. I'm going to turn on my light really quick. Oh, look, here's my, that's my little Facebook party shelf. See it? Well, that's my little Facebook party shelf right there. So I have it like permanently set up. So when I go live on Facebook, that's where I sit and do my little thing. But this is what I wanted to show you. Hold on, I'm going to grab my chair. I'll be right back, I promise. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. One of the benefits of working a Scentsy business, right? Yes. Okay, so this is one of the things I wanted to show you, and then I promise I'll be done soon. I know it's like 9 o'clock already. So my friend Stephanie Malbrough designed this postcard, and every single customer that orders online gets, every single customer that does a PWS order gets one of these. And this is the one I was talking about earlier, about my VIP page. So if you're watching on your phone, you can always just screenshot this. So this, every customer gets one of these too, to try to encourage them to join my VIP page. I'll hold it just for another second in case anybody's screenshotting it. Okay, and then this is the one for referrals. So it just says, I hope you're absolutely smitten with your Scentsy delivery. Don't forget to share the love by snapping a picture of your new goodies and tagging me. You will be entered in my monthly drawing for free product. Thank you for supporting my small business. So what happens with this is every month I do a drawing, and it's for 1 bar of the scent of the month. That's it. That's all I send them. It's no big deal. But I can't tell you how much on their Facebook, some cute warmer or whatever, and tagging me, and their friends are seeing it. Like, I cannot tell you how many new customers that brings me. And of course, anyone who comments, interacts, I send them a friend request, and it's like a whole thing, you know? Oh, I left my phone. That has my notes on it. Oh, I gotta go back. This is my office, by the way, guys. And so there you can see like my little, my head's in the way. There you can see my little board with some memorabilia stuff on it. My shelf with some more memorabilia stuff on it, like some of my favorite books, all my reunion warmers and stuff like that, all my lanyards. Anybody else having problems with their things coming off? All my things keep falling off. I need to get some tape and like actually tape them on there. Okay, let me go back to my phone where my notes are, so I don't want to forget anything important. I want to give you guys all the goods, all the good stuff. Okay, all right. Let me see where I'm at. All right, so referrals, yes. Okay, so that's all I want to say about social media. The last thing I want to talk about is getting them to say yes. You know, getting them on the hook and then like following up with them and stuff like that. Okay, so anytime someone shows the slightest bit of interest, so let's say that I'm private messaging with someone and they're like, yeah, I'd love some more information. I'll say, okay, great. You know, let's, you know, set up a time and we can just chat for like 20, 30 minutes and I can answer any questions that you might have and I'll get your address. I always try to talk to someone on the phone before sending them a possibility packet. I want to talk to them because I know if I can talk to them, I'm going to seal the deal much more likely than if I just send them a packet and then try to keep connecting with them after I sent them a packet. I know when I talk to them, it's going to be so much easier to like get them to say yes. So I always try to get them on the phone and or meet up with them in person for like a coffee. Like if they live locally, of course, that's what I say. I'm not going to mail them a packet. I'm like, okay, let's meet up at Starbucks. We can, you know, grab a drink and I'll bring your packet and we can catch up. That's how I'll present it. So I always try to meet up with them or talk to them on the phone. Now, the very most important thing that you must discover when you are talking to a potential recruit is, what is their why? Hold on. You have to know what their why is. Just like every single team member that you have, like all your frontline, you got to know what their why is. Your potential recruit, you have to know what their why is, because that's like the carrot that you dangle in front of them. That's what's going to get them to say yes to the opportunity. That's what's going to drive them forward to committing. So it's important that you know what that is. Now, for some people, that can be difficult to get to the heart of and to understand what that means. So I'm going to tell you something right now that's like the easiest way to understand what that is. And you simply say, what makes you consider selling Scentsy? Like, how do you see Scentsy enhancing your life? Bam. I bet I just blew your mind. That's it. If you ask them that question, they're going to tell you. They're going to say, oh, yeah, well, you know, my husband's working and I'm staying home with the kids and I need to supplement my income. Or, well, I'm in college and I need flexible income. Or, you know, well, I'm just kind of bored and need something fun to do that's just me. Or they're going to tell you right then and there what their why is. And you need to write it down. Every single potential recruit, every single potential recruit, I'll show you in my little planner here. My planner is my life. Every single potential recruit has a little slip of paper. So I have their names written down and notes. This girl here at the top, she has a Facebook launch party June 11th and a home party launch June 10th. So she's joining June 1st. So here's all the notes from the 2 times that we've talked. We've already begun her coaching process. Like I've already sent her my videos on the parties. We just talked yesterday. So the training's already begun for her. And then the one below that, She wants to join in July. So I have notes for all of my potential recruits. I keep track of what their why is. I keep track of, what their concerns are. And that's what I use to stay in touch with them. So they all have their own little slip of paper or half a slip of paper, and I keep it in my planner. So that way it's always on me, because my planner is always on me. Thanks, Laura. Okay, so you want to write it down. What's their why? It's important to know that. And then I pretty much just let them run everything, because the worst thing you can do with a potential recruit is overwhelm them with information. If you're like, well, this is Shooting Star and this is Sensational Start, and then we have a team page and we do trainings on the, and then they're going to be like, oh, too much information. I can't make a decision. And then they get kind of paralyzed with thought and they don't want to make a decision. So I let them run the show, right? So I'll be like, I find out what their why is, and then I'll just ask them, do you have any questions that you want to ask me? They know what they want to know about. They know what they want to know. So I ask them, do you have any questions for me? I let them run the show. They ask me their questions they want to ask me. Now, if someone has direct sales experience, sometimes they're going to be like, well, how does your compensation plan work? And blah, 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 blah. And they'll have more specific questions if they have direct sales experience. If they don't have direct sales experience, they typically will just be like, do you have an active, do you have to remain active? What's your minimum? They might have that. Might wonder about getting a discount, Ask me about the minimum to remain active. That's pretty much the only thing that I'm like, dude, I got to tell you about this. If they don't ask me about that, that's really the only thing that I'll be like, okay, I've got to tell you about this. And, sometimes they'll ask more detailed questions. It just really depends on them. So at the end of the talk, whether it's on the phone or in person, I'll be like, so do you have any other questions or anything else you want to pick my brain about while we're here together? And if they say no, I'll say, okay, great. So where's your thought? Where are your thoughts at right now? I never leave the conversation without knowing where their head is at. You have every right to ask that question. You've devoted a half hour, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever, talking to them. You have every right to ask, so where are your thoughts at right now? Or where's your head at right now about everything we've talked about today? And they're going to tell you. They're going to say, well, I'm worried. I don't think I want to get involved in something until summer's over and the kids are back in school. Or, well, I got to go home and talk to my husband. Or, you know what? I think I'm ready to join. Based on what they say, I make my next move. If they say something like, well, I think I want to wait till the kids are done with summer break and are back in school, I say, I totally get that. You want to enjoy your summer with your kids and not get involved in something until you feel like you can fully commit. I totally respect that. So how about when the kids go back to school, August, how about I reconnect with you in the middle of August, and then we'll talk about this again. I set the tone that they're going to hear back from me. I make a note, contact them back in the middle of August, and I will do that because as a Scentsy consultant, as a business professional, my word is everything, right? So I will follow up and I'll say, hey, Jessica, how was your summer? I saw on your Facebook you went to such and such with the kids. It looked like it was so much fun. I figured the kids were probably getting ready to go back to school, so I wanted to reconnect with you. Before the summer started, we had talked about you starting to sell Scentsy as a way to supplement your spouse's income. I want to talk to you more about that. Are you still looking for a way to supplement his income? You see what I did there? I reminded her what her why was. If I didn't know it, I couldn't have brought it up to her. You have to know what their why is so you can dangle that carrot and remind them, hey, you said you wanted to supplement your husband's income, right? That's how you do it. So if they say they want to talk to their spouse when they get home or whatever, say, okay, that's totally great. If he has questions he wants to ask me, I'd be happy to talk to the two of you on the phone, whatever. Just feel free to reach back out to me if you have any other questions. Otherwise, I'll be sure to follow up with you in a few days. Always set the precedent that you're going to be following up with them and kind of just determine whatever that time is that you think seems to be reasonable based on what they're saying. Got to run and put my son to bed. I'll watch the rest later tonight. This is amazing. I love it. Thanks so much. Oh, thanks so much. But yeah, that's pretty much everything that I had to share with you guys. I just wanted to share with you how important your mindset is, that you're okay, not just okay with, but pursue rejection and understand that, rejection and hearing no is part of the process. How I sponsor with events, home parties, social media, and how I kind of close the deal with people. So I hope that you are ready to just dive into sponsoring and implement some of these things that you've learned tonight. And I would love to know, comment here, even if you're watching the playback later, comment here. I'd love to know what you're implementing, right now. What are the things that you are going to start doing like tomorrow? And I just wish you the best of luck. I want everyone in Scentsy to succeed and just really be just in love with this business and achieving their whys and their goals. And that's what I want for all of my Scentsy sisters. So I hope that this tonight helped you along your journey with your business. And one thing I want to add too is always remember to never compare. Comparison is absolutely the thief of joy. And you might have heard some of the things I said tonight about my team size or my group size or how many directors we have or whatever. And you might be like comparing yourself to that or thinking, oh, I can never be there or whatever. There's always somebody who's doing it better. If I compared my business to others, I would feel like crap about my business. There is always somebody doing it better, doing it faster. So I just want to encourage you to never compare your business. Anytime you get yourself caught in that mindset, just stop that stinking thinking, because you are never going to feel satisfied or grateful or proud of your business if you compare. So just don't compare. Be grateful for your journey and do your best work. And that's something to be proud of. So you're welcome. I'm glad you guys liked it. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Bye, guys.